heard what you're saying.
All right, did you turn it on?
Yes, I turned it on. Yes.
All right, let me go back. First of all, it was a matter of perspective, what you felt from the concert, but we got 54 responses. 54 out of 180. I think there was only 179 there this time. There was one absentee. But out of 179, we got 54 responses. And most of them were very positive. Some of them were asking questions. So that was a very interesting thing as well.
That's good.
But let me tell you, it was a 2-hour concert instead of a 1.5-hour concert.
Wow.
And it was done brilliantly. They did. Oh, Joe, you were brilliant there in all of your forms, and including me. But Lacademus was conducting brilliantly. The plasma pieces. When you brought the plasma into the sound of it, it changes the dynamic of how it is received, and like I said, many more responses. The first time I think we had 20 responses. This time 54. So that is a great deal more.
Yes, it is.
Now, let me tell you about the concert itself. Or is that what you would like to know?
Yes. Yes.
We used so many elements that you had written from the past. The dolphin music, the resurrection music, I can't even name them all. There was about 7 different things patched together that were absolutely amazing. It was about a 22-minute segment. It was really amazing. And we put that closer to the end because we wanted that to be something that they go home with, that they had something to remember us by. And so we all decided together that your section, which was 22 minutes and 47 seconds or something like that, should be at the end so that it would be very memorable and very much a part of their take-home. Of course, we did many other pieces, and there was an intermission. Even with the intermission, the music portion was still 2 hours. So we only had like a 10-minute or 15-minute intermission. No, 15 minutes. They're telling me 15 minutes. So we broke for 15 minutes. It was like an hour and 8 minutes, and then another 50-some minutes. So it was wonderful. So, but the responses that we got that were very good were actually from the 20 that responded the first time, plus some of the others. Now, so this means that we're expanding our audience in that sense, and the ones that didn't respond, some of them still went home with very, very positive thought processes, I'm sure, because otherwise, we know these people well enough to know when they have a negative response. And there was very little negativity here, very little negative response, very little anything against what was being heard or what was being brought forth. So we know that it was, I would say, 90% positive on their part.
Yeah,
so that's
wonderful.
A good thing.
Yeah.
Now, so that's a high percentage, 90% for this particular audience. There still are resistors, and there's still those that will probably not respond or not be happy with it, but you have to understand everyone's different.
Yes.
The thing is, with the plasma pieces, with the final 22 minutes and 47 seconds was amazingly filled with plasmic overtones and beautiful melodies as well, but with all these underlying secondary beautiful parts. It was amazing. So it was played brilliantly. sounded almost like the original. I'd say maybe a little better.
Yeah.
But
Hey, that's good.
because the reason why I say that is because we brought up some of the underlying melodies just a fragment more. They weren't as buried, and so they came up just a little more, and which added an interesting dynamic to the whole thing. And so we brought up those melodies a little bit more, brought up the plasma just a little bit more, brought the melody on top was the icing on the cake. It was beautiful and was actually enthralling. So we thought of it as a really wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So the way that it was arranged and put in front of them was done magnificently, I thought, by Lacedemus, myself, and a couple of the other Joes. So, anyway, we were just happy to be there, and it was a very wonderful and inspiring concert, in my opinion. Now, we'll have to see. Remember, the concert was on the 26th. We haven't heard anything since then. Except for these comments that we sent out, we had comment cards for all of them, and we got those 54 comments back. So that is all that we got back so far, and those came over a 5-day period, pretty much.
And my question, was there any change in wars? Did they stop attacking at all after the concert?
There is a treaty in effect. All right. I'll go back. Let me back up a little bit.
Because at the
There
last
is
two
now,
concerts, they did stop
just as
attacking.
of yesterday, some treaties being spoken about.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Before that, no.
Yay.
It was still full-fledged battle in some places. But as of yesterday, around noon your time yesterday, there was some talk of treaties. There was some meetings arranged or being talked about being arranged. So nothing has really happened yet, but it is being discussed as of yesterday.
Yay, wonderful.
So that is not, let's see, the 26th, that's not even barely 10 days after the concert. You know what I mean? It's pretty quickly that this is turning around a little bit. We'll see what these are like. I cannot guarantee that there will be the treaty made like within the next week. I can't guarantee that.
Right.
But at least there is some talks coming about because of, I believe the concert had something to do with it.
Yes, I believe
That's my personal belief. Now we'll find out for sure whenever the treaties are being discussed, because we'll find out where their heads are at from this concert. It takes a little while for that music to sink in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sinks in. It becomes part of you. It starts to work on you, especially the positive plasma portions, that electricity of it and all these things. So I think that it is just starting to work on them. It's really not fully effective yet.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And after
Don't
the
you
last,
think?
after
It
the
takes a
last-
while.
After the last concert, they stopped attacking Venus immediately, about 1 week after the last concert. So this has been, but then they started attacking again. So it should be getting better, not be good for a while and then getting worse. Last time it got good and then got worse again, so I don't know why.
Well, that's because the effects of the music wear off, maybe. We'll see what is happening. The thing is, more people will be listening to it more consistently. We gave them the discs, the cells, whatever you want to call them,
Right.
whatever they use to play on their machinery. So we hope that will get them listening. So am sure that the 54 people that responded will be listening, or at least many of them will. But I think some of the ones that did not respond will also be listening.
Yay. Wonderful.
Can you
So-
tell me more about the treaty? Is the treaty a universal treaty or just one with the earth?
It's only being discussed. It's not in effect yet. It's not, they haven't met yet. They're talking about it, meaning that they're getting their dates together and they're saying we would like to discuss a treaty. That was as of yesterday. So we don't know any information yet.
Just
Nothing has
a
been
treaty.
solidified at this point.
It's just a treaty. You don't know what kind
Yes,
of treaty.
we don't know what that entails yet.
Hopefully it's a treaty with God.
Ah.
Because God has a meeting next month, so maybe they're.
Oh yes.
Maybe it's a treaty.
Well, I'm
with
sure God will be part of this. He has to be in some way. He was there at the concert with us, so yes, I'm
Wonderful.
sure that God's influence will be
question.
there.
My main question, Plato Florende said that when he did the music in Telepacetes, the reason
Yes.
that the music could reach the whole planet was because God can speak to people through each person separately through the music. So
Yes.
was God there speaking through the music?
Remember this. Yes, he was there speaking. He is enlightening the music, if you will. But remember, he cannot get into their heads unless they allow him. That is part of his free will, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
So there are some that allowed him to affect them. And there are others that are shut off from him. So you have to, I do not know which ones are which, but I know that he was there and he was working with those that are receptive.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's
So
positive.
yes,
That's
of
positive.
course.
Yeah, that's positive.
So does that mean that in Telepacetes that everybody's minds were open to God? That's why.
No, not everyone's, but enough
Oh, enough.
to make a great change. Remember, listen carefully. In Telepacetes, as I remember correctly, there were many minds that were very powerful, that were opened up. These powerful minds spoke out, were the leadership, were the minds that were in charge, that could speak and could make decisions. And so, of course, there were not all those minds that were open, were not all in favor, but the ones that were in favor were powerful and were able to speak freely and to all the people, and the people's minds were also muddled. Some of them were opened and some of them were not. But as they hear the leaders speak, that changed their minds as well.
And so do we know if the 50 people at this concert that were listening, do we know if they're powerful? Are some more powerful than others? Do we know
Well,
that?
these 179 are the most powerful people on the planet.
So
All of these.
So 50 of them are just as powerful as the other 120.
Yes, 54. So keep in mind, not all the comments were sterling and brilliant, but most of the comments were positive. At least
From
I think
54
48.
powerful people. So that's very
48
good.
people were pretty positive.
So that's,
And the other 6 were just neutral, but they wanted to make comments about what they thought about it, and it was not necessarily a positive or negative. It was just a comment. You know what I mean? This was something that I will have to consider and think about and blah blah blah. So that was like the other 6 comments were more in that range. But that's not a bad thing. Even though they were not sterling and positive, positive. They were neutral and they were pensive. They were, well, not pensive, but they were thought-provoking. It was causing them to think.
Well, it all sounds very positive, and it sounds like God's going to have a good talk in November. So things are looking up.
Yes, I hope very much that is the truth.
Thank you so much. I need to get back to the Eliahas because they're going to have a report to give us.
Oh, the Eliahas. Okay.
Thank you so
One
much.
moment, I'll bring them back.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
too.
for the wonderful news. Bye.
Yes. Talk to you later.
Talk to
Be
you.
well. Be well. What?
Hey, there was one more thing I wanted to ask you about.
What was that?
God has been having a very difficult time finding a stem cell for Joe.
Ah,
Wouldn't your stem cell fit Joe perfectly?
well, he has my stem cells. Pretty much.
And,
We're just in different ages,
We,
but
is there
I
a
will
way
talk
to,
to God and see if they can be reused.
can you update it or upgrade? This is what I'm talking with Eliah's about. God's been trying stem cells for a year now. He can't get anything, he got Metatron.
Well, you have to understand, Joe and I and those of our nature are very different in some ways. So we need the specialized stem cells from Creator Realm. So and all Creator Realm beings are not made the same. So I think he found something, but
you should match
I would
perfectly.
find if perhaps cloning
Yes,
something
yes,
from one of us might
yes,
help.
Yes, that's why I wanted to start looking at some possibilities of variables, and because it isn't happening. We need to try something different. So I'm talking to Elias
No.
about trying things different. Cloning
And-
your stem cell, that'd be perfect.
Yes. But I was talking to God about this. Actually, we did discuss this briefly. And he said, Joe can only live so long, and some of the stem cells that he found would make him live too long. He doesn't want him to be overly exuberant, but he wants it to be just right. So you have to understand we're looking for, something
That's
in
ridiculous.
the medium size
That's
range.
ridiculous.
Well, medium energy range instead of
We need
oh,
the
super
best.
powerful.
Joe
So
needs all the help he
you'll
can
be-
get.
we don't want you to be a lightning bolt. We just want you to be normal, sort of.
I want Joe
So-
to be a lightning bolt. Joe has a hard time walking across the floor. I need a lightning.
We know that. We know
I
that.
need a lightning bolt. Please give
Yes.
us a lightning.
Can you see him with
bolt.
this walker?
Yes,
Yes.
That's what we want. We want Joe to zoom.
But he'll just put a little motor on that, then you'll think he's walking around and he's actually
Yes.
riding.
Please.
So, but anyway,
Please, that's what we want. Please.
all right.
I want to have a race with Joe around the lake.
Oh, I think you would lose if we
That's
give him this particular
that's
step.
okay.
But anyway, we'll see. He would be like racing like one of your people on Earth from the
Yes.
Olympics.
That's
So
what we need.
you don't want that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, I will bring Eliyahu to you,
Thank you.
and we will. I believe God will be speaking to you in a little while. Anyway.
Things are improving since the concert.
Yes, I see that they are discussing some terms or treaties or something positive. We'll see what happens with that. I'm sending some very positive energy to those talks.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. Well, we've been feeling wonderful, like something really good happened, and it's usually I pick
Well,
up from these.
I believe something good really did happen. So I'm feeling that positive energy as well.
Oh, wonderful.
And
But we'll see what actually is when they expose what they are thinking to me.
yes, very soon. And Flame of the Eternal Sun mentioned that you were at the concert, and you were able to speak to some of them through the music.
About 33%.
33% of the 180.
Correct.
Wow, that's good.
That's
Very
wonderful.
good.
Yes.
So that
I
means,
think it's very good, actually.
So that means the communication has already opened up considerably.
To some extent, yes.
Wonderful. So at least they will talk to you now.
Yes.
So this is wonderful. What is the date in November of your talk?
My talk with them, they have set the date at November 25th.
Long time.
And I'm hoping to move that up a little.
That would be nice.
I want it to be around more closely to November 15th, your time.
That would be wonderful. That's
To me, it's like a step